Hi, welcome to Ray at the Movies, and today we're going to do Ernest Scared Stupid, which is part of the 31 Days of Halloween, where I upload a video every day for the whole month of October. And Ernest Scared Stupid is perfect because it is a Halloween movie. The movie came out October 11th, 1991. It was not a hit when it first came out. There was other Ernest films. Now, I'm going to say I was a big Ernest P. Worrell fan of the first 4 movies. I didn't see the other ones that were direct-to-video. There was one more that was released to theater, but it wasn't a wide release. And I'll go into that after. So let's, it is a good movie. Now this is a movie that I thought actually was a little too scary for kids. It's kind of scary and creepy, and the troll practical effects is good. I thought this was a perfect film. Jim Varney is always a delight to watch. He was very good at that as a character. He invented the character. The character was originally used for commercials, but ended up going into movies, making a series of movies with the character, and also now a comic book. As of now, by the time this comes out, the funding for it on Kickstarter are already done, and there's no worry to really promote it too much because it made its budget the first day it launched for this graphic comic book for the movie. They got permission, of course, from the family and the director of this film. And let's go ahead and go into it. Now, I really, like I said, I liked it. It kind of has some scares. It's a little creepy, but it's also funny, and it's a fun movie. It doesn't drag at all. And Jim Varney always does a good performance. The whole cast does good performance. Like I said, I was a little disappointed at first when I saw this because I really didn't think the movie was that good at first. But through a lot of rewatches, I find that this movie is good. Is it as good as the previous films? No, but it's a close second, with my favorite sequel being Ernest Goes to Jail. So we're going to go real quick before we go into the other stuff. I'm going to go into how many movies there was. There's supposedly 9 movies, so keep track. And a special, TV special. There was Ernest Goes to Camp that came out in 1987, followed by Ernest Saves Christmas in 1988, and then in 1990 we had Ernest Goes to Jail, and then of course this movie, Ernest Scared Stupid, that came out in 1991. 1993 was Ernest Rides Again, and this would be the last movie released in theaters. And Ernest Scared Stupid would be the last movie that Disney did with the director. The direct-to-video movies was Ernest Goes to School in 1994, Slam Dunk Ernest in 1995, Ernest Goes to Africa in 1997, and the last and final one was Ernest in the Army in 1998. Now they did have a special that premiered, I believe, on the Disney Channel, which was Ernest Goes to Splash Mountain, which was just a TV special, but I thought I'd throw it in there because it is part of the Ernest movies. So let's go ahead and dive into it. We have the cast, which is Jim Varney from the Ernest movies, of course, Wilder Napalm, the Beverly Hills Billies, The Expert, Kurtha Kitt, Friday Foster, The Serpent Warriors, Eric the Viking, The Emperor's New Groove, Austin Nagler, which was his only movie he did, by the way. He didn't do any other movies. Ashay Ashtar, The Oz Kid TV series, The Lost, Rocker, Boston Girls, Jonas Mascarato, Fight Night was his only movie. And now the story was by John R. Cherry in the third, Ernest in the Army. Then you have, of course, Coke Sam's screenplay, wrote the story plus the screenplay. He also wrote the screenplay for Ernest Goes to Camp, Ernest Goes to School, Lunkers Lake, Estco, screenplay by Charles Gale, only Making the Grade, Guilty as Charged, Tattletale, Captain Nuke, The Bomber Boys, and the music was by Bruce Arston. Ernest Goes to Jail, Ernest Goes to School, Exito, Kirby Celested, Ernest Goes to Jail, Ernest Rides Again, Ernest Goes to School. This was another actor, sorry. Directed by John R. Cherry III. Ernest Goes to Jail, Ernest Goes to Africa, Slam Dunk Ernest, Ernest in the Army. Story: Ernest accidentally unleashes an ugly troll that plots to transform children into wooden dolls in the town of Brownsville, Missouri. Life could be pretty if there wasn't someone like Ernest P. Worrell on this planet. In this movie, he helps to escape an evil troll out of his grave. That's the start of the end of for the world. But Ernest wouldn't be Ernest if he wasn't planning on saving all the people. This action doesn't make it any better. It's getting worse. Okay, here we are with the trivia. The pizzas seen being thrown at the bullies who try to attack the kids' treehouse are reused props from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2: The Secret of the Ooze. Both movies had the same prop master, Doug White. Eartha Kitt auditioned for the role of Old Lady Hackmore. The casting director for this film would later cast The Emperor's New Groove. And Eartha voiced the character of Ozma in that film as a favor to the casting director. And she was good. She helped make that movie good. Well, the movie was good to begin with. This is the fourth and final Ernest film to be released under the Disney label Touchstone Pictures. The Ernest team intentionally signed a 3-picture deal with Disney. After the success of Ernest Saves Christmas, the deal was extended from 3 films to 6. However, Ernest Scared Stupid performed below expectations, causing Disney to prematurely end their contract. The next Ernest film, Ernest Rides Again, was distributed independently, was a box office bomb, and was the final Ernest film to be released theatrically. Subsequent Ernest films would be made for the straight-to-video market. The emblem on the side of the Briarville police car reads Latin: Igomorsis ad infinitum. Literal translation: we do not know to infinity. The Kyoto brothers are credited with special effects for this film, who also made Killer Clowns from Outer Space. Some of the trolls are repurposed clowns. Also, the same spinning clown death effect was used for the troll's death. Some people believe the reason why this film didn't perform as well as the box office as its predecessors is because many kids found it to be too scary. Many people agree that the thought of a troll stealing the souls of children and trolls' deaths to be very disturbing. Even John Cherry later realized in hindsight that he made Trenter too scary, and that's why it hurt the box office by 10,000. Director John Cherry kept the animatronic head for the main antagonist, Trenter the Troll. He used to keep it in his office, but had since given it to his son to display. In the Entertainment Weekly article from 1990, when Ernest Goes to Jail was in theaters, there was discussion about the next Ernest movie titled Ernest Scared Stupid, but the plot described at the time was about Ernest inheriting a haunted house from his family. Some ideas the filmmakers and Disney had for the title of this movie they ended up not using were Ernest and the Curse, Ernest and the Trolls, and Ernest Scared Stiff. With Scared Stiff, some Disney executives concerned that parents might not appreciate the unintended adult reference. The second and final Ernest movie after the previous movie Ernest Goes to Jail to feature Ernest's dog, Rimshot. Barkley was under contract with Disney to appear in one more Ernest movie, but Disney cut ties with Ernest filmmakers due to this film underperforming at the box office. In the original script of Ernest Scared Stupid, the villain wasn't a troll. It was actually a haunted statue. The original script had a lot of flavor of Scared Stupid though. But there were no trolls. There was one statue that came to life. It was some terrible person who came back from the dead. John Kerry and Coke Sams went to Disney with the script. They both felt it was the best thing they ever written, and they knew that what Disney wanted. But Disney read it, and their exact response was, "What are you guys smoking when you wrote this?" John and Coke dismembering anything they could salvage from the script, scared stupid script, and cranked it into the next one. There was a total of 14 drafts written of the film. Creature effects creator Carlos Kyoto designed Trentor the troll using 14 motors to operate various facial features. His teeth were fabricated from dental aceric. His skin was baked foam, and each eyebrow hair was inserted individually. The troll was designed with 2 noses that dripped cyanic mucus concentrated from methicillin, personal lubricant, and an unnamed vegetable agent that caused it to spoil quickly. A thicker version of the substance was used as troll saliva. This was the last time actor Daniel Butler, Larry Black, and Jackie Walsh and Mike Hutcherson appeared in an Ernest movie. The black and white clips from in the open credits were public domain movies, including Nosferatu: A Sympathy of Horror, White Zombie, Phantom from Space, The Brain from Planet Arthurus, The Screaming Skull, Missile to the Moon, The Hideous Sun Demon, The Giant Gila Monster, The Killer Shrews, Battle Beyond the Sun, and The Little Shop of Horrors. Out of all 9 Ernest movies, Ernest Scared Stupid is the most popular. Gilroy Sarton declined to reprise his role as Chuck in Ernest Scared Stupid because he and director John Cherry had a major falling out after Ernest Goes to Jail. He was replaced in the film by John Cadenhead, who played Tim Tulip. Chuck and Bobby, the definite and most remembered duo in the Ernest films, appeared together in the previous 2 films, Ernest Goes to Jail and Ernest Saves Christmas. That is a sad thing because they were a good duo, those 2. I give this movie 4 out of 5. When I originally, of course, saw the movie, I was a little disappointed. But, excuse me, watching it now, I really can appreciate and really like it. It's a fun movie, and thanks to Jim Carrey's performance, as well as the other cast members, the movie really does work, and it doesn't drag at any point, and all the jokes to me land. And I really like the chemistry between hold on, I gotta get her name. Eartha Kitt and Austin Nagler with Jim Carrey. They seem to really gel well together. It's a shame that Austin Nagler didn't do another movie. He was kind of bullied after this movie for whatever reason. I don't remember what the reason was why he retired from acting. I thought I wrote down that information, but I guess I didn't. So with that, I'm out of here, and like I said, I checked this out. This is a perfect movie, definitely for Halloween. So with that, I'm out of here.